UK is pushing the net zero as the success point of this summit. We all know that it will be going up as a net zero summit. So while we are talking about net zero, is a good thing down the 2050 or whatever, but that at the same time, all the real issues, finance, loss and damage are being pushed back. So how happy you are with this all sucking net zero into the whole process? What's your stand on that? Thank you.
Saber Hossain Chowdhury.
Thank you for that question. I'm Saber Chowdhury. I chair the Parliamentary Committee on Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. With regard to the first question, as you have also acknowledged, we are only starting the second week. So we don't want to pre-call it or prejudge it. We are all here in good faith. We know that trust is in short supply. There is a huge trust deficit. And we hope one of the areas that will be different in this COP is going to be where the bridges are going to be built and the trust is going to be reestablished. And when you talk about a Bangladesh position, I think it's the global position. We are not demanding something just for Bangladesh. We are asking for something which is good for the planet. And so when we talk about our red lines, of course, the 1.5 is a red line. And I think, we are encouraged by the fact that Paris doesn't actually specify 1.5. It talks about 2 and below. But the fact that 1.5 now seems to be generally accepted, I think it's positive. Having said that, the caveat that I would put on it is look at the suffering, look at the pain, look at the devastation, the loss that we are suffering at 1.1 degrees Celsius. So 1.5 is not a silver bullet that's going to solve all the problems. That should be the absolute minimum. We can't go above that. And even at that level, there is going to be considerable needs for adaptation, loss and damage comes into the picture. So that's number one. In terms of the finance, we are not asking for anything new. It's not a new proposition. We are merely asking the world or the global community to live up to their commitments. That commitment was $100 billion from 2020, and there'll be an equal split between adaptation and mitigation. So not only have we failed to reach 100 billion, the mix between adaptation and mitigation is really skewed. I think we are now looking at about 20-25% adaptation, and the rest is on mitigation. So we want an equal balance. And of course, when you look at it down the road, if you're looking at 2024 onwards, this figure has to be raised substantially. Because when we talk about 100 billion compared to the needs, it is nowhere near adequate. So we are also focused on the post-2024 architecture, the financial architecture. So that's there. And then the whole issue of how we deal with displacement. Bangladesh has this very real issue. Of course, we sympathize fully. We are in full solidarity with the CVF and the small island nations as well on this. Just a 1 meter rise in sea level is going to potentially displace 40 million people. 40 million, 40. And so what do we do? That too in one of the most densely populated countries. If there's a 1 meter rise in sea level, we are projecting that the land boundaries, the map of Bangladesh is going to change. We will lose acreage, which is now there for food. So food security is a problem. Water stress is a problem. You are from India, and the Himalayas are the water towers for South Asia. They supply fresh water to 800 million people. So once the glaciers run dry and they melt, where are we going to get our supply of fresh water? So these are all existential challenges for Bangladesh. So when you're talking about existential challenges, there is no red line as such. It's what you need to achieve. And there is no second chance. So this COP has to get it right because there isn't a second planet. So we are hoping that we are going to deliver on Paris. And the other important point to differentiate is, you have the UNFCCC as a treaty and you have the Paris Agreement. So if global leaders fail to deliver on Paris, they are also failing the treaty. The fundamental objective of the treaty is to stabilize concentrations of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. And that we are patently failing to do. So it's not just a failure to arrive at a decision at COP. You're also frustrating the treaty that all of the countries have signed up to. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our time is up to 5 p.m. Actually, I want to take some quick questions.
One thing I can add regarding the